turandursun.com. Dinlerden özgürlüğün sesi.
Çeviren ve altyazılandıran Milo Manara.
So I think we've easily disposed of all three of our alleged difficulties, the eye, the wing, and camouflage. I'm going to end with a particular favourite of creationists, the notorious bombardier beetle. This is a recent headline that appeared in the Daily Telegraph, "Beetle that may explode the ideas of Darwin." The Telegraph thing goes on to say, if evolution were right, it would have exploded. The paper asks whether it offers proof of a creator. The story about the bombardier beetle is given in one creationist tract that I'm now going to read. The bombardier beetle squirts a lethal mixture of hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide into the face of its enemy. These two chemicals, when mixed together, literally explode in the face of the enemy. The chain of events that could have led to the evolution of such a complex, coordinated and subtle process is beyond biological explanation on a simple step-by-step process. The slightest alteration in the chemical balance would result immediately in a race of exploded beetles. Well, now, this does sound like a bit of a challenge, a difficult case. I mustn't evade my responsibilities to take on difficult cases. Here we have some hydrogen peroxide, and here's some hydroquinone. And this is what's going to explode violently when... just... Right. Now, anybody who wants to can leave the room. Right, we'll start with the hydrogen peroxide. So far, so good. Now, I better put it down, hadn't I? What's happened? It's not even warm. Bit of a damp squib. There is some truth in the story. By the way, of course, I knew nothing would happen. I mean, there was never any danger. There is some truth in the story. In fact, the hydroquinone does nothing at all. We can put that on one side. The true story is that hydrogen peroxide on its own does decompose to form oxygen and water, but it needs a catalyst under normal conditions to do that. This black powder here is a catalyst. It's not the catalyst that the bombardier beetle uses. The bombardier beetle does use a catalyst, and it does, in fact, squirt this hot substance into the face of its enemy. But if you put a catalyst into a weak solution of hydrogen peroxide, then you're going to get a little bit of bubbling, and it's a little bit warm. That might have some effect on the predator. That might slightly deter a predator, and it would be not particularly dangerous to the beetle. Now we've got a smooth gradient, a bit more concentration of hydrogen peroxide, and that's distinctly warm. That would work more effectively against a predator. And by moving gradually up the slope, gradually increasing the concentration of hydrogen peroxide, we can end up with... So there is a smooth slope all the way up to the effective deterrent against a predator.